All right, welcome everybody to tonight's Committee of the Whole meeting. It is Tuesday, May 5th at 6:30 p.m. Can I get a roll call?
Finkler.
Here.
Hammer.
Here.
Lawson.
Here.
Reed.
Here.
Relke.
Here.
Rostad.
Here.
I acknowledge this meeting was posted and noticed according to law.
All right, I'll look for a motion to approve tonight's agenda.
So move.
I'll second.
Yeah, first by Alder Rostad, a second by Alder Rolke. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Agenda approved. Any public he's on his way. Any public comment? None. No public comment. All right, on to new business. Discussion regarding ordinance number 814-26, an ordinance to repeal and recreate section 2-31 of the City of Columbus Code of Ordinances concerning composition of the city council. Matt.
In conversation with Attorney Johnson, this ordinance was introduced in 2022 to the council. It was not no action was taken at that time. Essentially, this memorializes the process that's been used for past council vacancies. And it'd be my recommendation that we put this into a consistent format for not only this vacancy, but any future vacancies. The one thing that I'd ask council to consider that we've talked about and should have included in the original draft, under 2B on the first page of the ordinance, it states the public notice shall state the district in which vacancy is occurring and that any resident of the district that has reached voting age has 10 days from the date of the public announcement to notify the city clerk in writing. We'd like to change that to complete the committee application online. Just to be a little more formal and consistent for anyone interested rather than just sending an email. That's a process that's worked well for those interested in committee appointments, and I think it would be appropriate for any council vacancy as well.
Alder Rostad.
I would agree with that. My only other question is for D and E, I think, right? Yeah, well, D for sure. What if, we have the ultimate decision, but there's nowhere in there that says we can leave it vacant. It doesn't say anything if we don't feel that the applicants aren't the best fit for the position, what are our next steps?
Right. So I was asked this question earlier today, and I'll give the same answer. I think you could add something in, but I think it's also implied that this is a council decision very similar to how the city would fill a vacant staff position if there aren't applicants, or if there isn't an applicant that meets the expectations, then you essentially start over, re-announce the vacancy and extend another 10-day window for people to submit an application.
Thank you.
Alder Rolke.
I also wanted to comment on D. I just would like a little more clarification in the verbiage that we don't expect people to come in and present for 10 minutes and then take questions from the council. Maybe a little more guidance on how long a presentation should be if we get to that point. Like
A good
standard 3 minutes.
consistency could be 3 minutes if that's what we're going to allow for public comment. 10 minutes gets really long and you get into life stories that might not be applicable to what you want to know about the applicant.
Yep.
Alder Reed.
Oh, thank you. I'm feeling comfortable with it as presented. I wasn't too worried about section D. I feel like it's leaving it open for the 10 minutes to just be the 10 minutes per person applying. Hopefully that includes the question and the presentation, but I don't want to limit it to just 3 since it's such a big role we're going for. I like section G that we have the option to suspend the rules and create a separate process if things are going a little sideways or a better method seems like it would be the best.
Alder Lawson.
I think I agree with what everyone else is saying. The one addition for C, I kind of think C is not necessary, and that D should just say for all applicants, because even if there's only one applicant, we may still have questions and they may still want to present.
Alder Rossad?
Nothing, no more questions on the ordinance, but could we like create, I know it's a short window, but like a night of like informative, have a few staff like yourself or the clerk and a few alders here for those that are interested so they know what they're getting into? Is it a possibility? So we can explain to them that it's not just a Tuesday night meeting. If you're on a committee, you have other nights you need to go to as a liaison, and from
Yeah.
there.
Read your
I-
packet.
I think there's a couple of different ways to approach that, right? We could encourage any interested applicants to contact the city administrator. I'd be happy to meet with anyone to kind of explain what those basic expectations are, and that obviously it's a community where I think most people know at least one of you on the council, or hopefully, and they could reach out to someone they feel comfortable with on the council to ask any questions they have too. And maybe there's something in the notice, the public notice, that we can include there that, any questions could be directed to the city administrator. And then if they have questions that I think are better answered by council, I could direct them to one or multiple of you for them to reach out to as well.
All right. Any other discussion? Good moving forward?
Well, I
Oh,
think we just
Mayor?
need clarification because we heard some difference on like the time frame wise.
The recommendation I'd have on time is maybe you give them 3 minutes for an initial introduction, and then the total of 10 minutes includes the question and answer period as well.
Well, I mean, the wording in here says each 10-minute presentation shall include a short statement from the applicant and questions from the council. So I don't know that we need to make any updates for
No,
that.
so I mean, the 10 minutes is,
We just need to combine C and D together, is what I heard.
And change the writing to online.
And,
Yeah,
right,
online
right,
application.
besides that, yep. The only recommendation from council tonight is C and D. That needs to happen, and then, yes, the other recommendation. All right. Anything else? We good? All right, perfect. Next, discussion regarding the purchase of an international front plow and wing with spreader from Lakeside International in the amount of $259,524.71. I'm assuming that's you, Randy. Come on up to the hot seat.
Well, Randy's getting ready. I'm going to kind of introduce this as well. As you're aware, we had $311,000 budgeted for the purchase of a plow truck. Previous Public Works Director obtained quotes and placed an order for this truck. So I think Randy was caught off guard when he received an invoice and I believe an anticipated delivery date, correct?
Yes, the truck is, I was informed, waiting for our check. And so I was caught a little off guard. I cannot confirm whether due process was followed in procurement. It's possible, but I found no evidence of it.
Well, it's clear that one step that's for sure missing was coming to you for authorization to purchase the truck.
Yes. But it is a good truck, and it was, be highly valued, and we can use it. So I'm prepared to take it if I'm given that authority.
Yeah. Alder Rostad?
Well, we have a policy in place, right? And if we didn't follow it, I hate to approve the purchase of it. This doesn't fall on current leadership at DPW. But Matt and I had a conversation about this back when, and he said that a international came in, presented a demo truck at that time, right, for a decent price, and there were not 3 quotes at that time. So I don't want to approve it. However, I know the price hike because I'm in the same boat in my current job for a 27 motor new emissions. I don't think you're gonna find one cheaper than $259 the way it's set up. From everything I looked at on it, I don't see anything that distinguishes what the plows are or the Salter box, so I can't really go in depth on that. But if it's a truck I looked at Lakeside for my quote, I don't think I would get it for that price today. However, again, I don't like the policy wasn't followed. I don't want to be rude to Frank or Hank, the salesman, but I think if we could maybe make a phone call to him and see if he can hold it for 2 weeks, and if we could, we'd have to have a special meeting if Randy could put two quotes together. I mean, there's trucks out there that are already built. This is a pre-built truck. I think we could get, or we could authorize up to this price, and if Randy gets the two quotes with approval of the administrator that don't beat the price, go ahead and cut the check and pick the truck up. I think we need to do our good deed as council and stewards of the checkbook to make sure we are getting a fair price.
Alder Reed?
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I would like to approve it pending the two comparable quotes. It seems like it's a good deal. I don't want to release it, but I really do think we need to follow policy just to make sure we're being good stewards. It's on the back end, which I don't prefer going this way, but I want to give a pending approval.
You good? You're next. Okay. Alder Wilkie?
I understand the importance of the policy and due procedures and everything like that, but I think part of being good stewards of the checkbook is to ensure that if this was already signed for, it looks like it was signed for on 3/27/26, that we're not in for some sort of penalty if we say no to this. And I would also think that Alder Rosted's point about not being able to find one cheaper than this is a really valid point. So as unfortunate as it is, if the process was not followed properly, I think I'm leaning more towards we probably ought to just continue forward with this, not lose any money on a penalty and not lose money by attrition by not finding another one that's this affordable.
Alder Lawson?
Does this meet the needs of what was budgeted for?
Yes. It's my understanding that the original intent was to get a dual axle, which could haul a bit more load. We don't necessarily need a dual axle for plowing purposes. It does have, I've included a spec package with this, so you can get a good idea of what kind of plow is there, and it has the wing plow as well. So yes, it does suit our needs. It is going to be nice to have a new plow truck in the fleet. And I would like to add that if we were to lose this, the lead time for a new truck is over a year. This one, I don't know if this is why my predecessor jumped on it, because it was available right then or not, but it is an opportunity, I think.
If you were to purchase a different vehicle now, if this wasn't an issue, if you were to go out and order one now, what would be different about what you order?
Well, it depends on what 280,000 can get us now. That might be a little different. What else would be different is we would receive the chassis first, and then it would be about a year before we could outfit the truck. But I don't think anything else would really be different as far as specs of what we need.
Okay.
So,
Yeah, but I'm pretty sure there's big emissions changes, though, that,
oh,
yeah?
You might be more knowledgeable about that than myself. I mean, I
Well,
haven't followed the,
I just know in my personal life, we just bought a dump truck this year, so we
Yeah.
didn't have to buy one next year because there'd be emission changes and the price was going up like a certain amount. I don't know, Rostad, you might know.
Yeah, L9, roughly about 15 to 25,000.
Yeah. So, okay. Go ahead, Alder Rostad.
Well, I just think these trucks, they have a bunch online. These are all pre-built that Lakeside has. Again, it's whatever the council wants. I'll vote the way I'm going to vote, but I still think we need to make sure. Like I said, I don't think anyone will beat the price, but maybe Randy can build the truck he wants as well. And maybe we'll get more bang for our dollar on a truck that he builds. But again, then you're a year out. I mean, this is already a pre-built truck that's sitting there waiting to get purchased. And I know competitors are up to 2 years just to put the stuff on the truck. So, I mean, he has valid points.
Another question I have is, I don't know plow trucks, but they're very similar to dump trucks, at least the same chassis and stuff. But it takes quite a while to get, the specs sorted out and to get estimates. How long do you think it would take to get 2 more?
well, I started sweating when all the Rostad said 2 weeks. I can certainly find probably some prices. I don't know how much I could vet those products. I mean, I'd be taking the specs that were in that packet and sending them out to vendors and saying, can you find something? And hopefully they'd respond in 2 weeks. I mean, normally it's a year process to put that together. So,
Yeah.
but if that's the task ahead, then we can do it.
Yeah. I guess I'm just concerned, just from my personal experience in ordering dump trucks and how long it takes and the lead time. And basically, you're never going to get one as cheap as you could have gotten one yesterday type of scenario. So I guess that's my biggest concern. But anybody else have any other discussion? Mayor?
Just, I understand everybody's wanting to follow the process. I do. I get it. But I look at the price in front of me, and I look at what those future prices are going to be. And vehicles have not come down in price. It's unfortunate that this has happened this way. We talk about being good stewards. I think this would be being a good steward, is jumping on this to accept the purchase of this, and because we know the emissions is going to throw everything out of whack. It's only, emissions is only going to continue to get worse as the years as years go on. So the prices are only going to continue to increase. Again, I know the process wasn't followed. I think in this instance, it behooves us to be respectful of the city taxpayers' money and accept this.
One quick comment on the changes that are being made to with emissions is that when you purchase a vehicle with the first year changes, there's a certain level of risk within that too, in things going wrong, having to be in the shop a lot. There's something to say for a product that's been out there for a while and not gone through a bunch of new changes. So, Alder Rostad?
I guess I'm willing to compromise a little bit. I can help. I'll offer to help Randy. I can supply him 2 vendors that build 2 different types of trucks, and if he can make contact with them to see if there's any trucks there that suit us to the standard of what we want. If we put a date on by Friday, and if they don't get back to him, I feel comfortable. He reached out, they didn't get to him. We approve it tonight at no more than 259 and how it's listed. I can't find it now right in front of me, but I'd be okay with that. I mean, there are people that build these trucks to sell them, but with that emission coming out, they might all be gone, but we don't know either, so.
Just one other item for consideration is that everyone here is aware, and if you ask Randy to do something, he's going to do it. He's also doing 2 jobs. It's what, in my years in Parks and Recreation, we called silly season, because it's crazy right now. The crews are running everywhere, and we've added to their plate getting the pool up and running, and so it is all systems go. I pitched in for about an hour of free time I had today. I'm going to try and continue to help doing that when I can in the next few weeks. But if you want Randy to do this, he'll do it, and I'll fully support it. I just want to be cognizant of, there's a lot of priorities right now, especially on the public works and streets and parks side of things.
All right, any other discussion on this? Otherwise, it can move forward with whatever motion gets thrown out first and a second. All right. All right, next on the list is discussion regarding DPW utility naming and ordinance number 815-26, an ordinance to amend section 2-41B and to create section 102-58H of the City of Columbus Code of Ordinances.
So the first item here that I want to talk about is the ordinance that Paul drafted. It essentially would require public works items to go to the utility commission before coming to council. So that's the first part of it. The second part is the naming of the department. I threw into AI, kind of give me names, and it gave a whole lot of suggestions here, none of which that I felt very strongly about. I thought Department of Public Works and Utilities is as close as we can get to summing up what we're doing, without losing the established brand of Public Works and Utilities that already exists. So I thought it was the best of the suggestions that AI provided, and that's my recommendation.
Alder Lawson.
So in the ordinance, it says all matters concerning public works to the utility commission. There were some things that I guess can be considered public works that we had been touching on in public spaces. So I'm not sure how we resolved that or if they're moving.
I think there's separation of parks and downtown beautification are separated and called out in the public spaces purview. And so I would envision those items continuing to go to public spaces, but streets, the task order on street maintenance is going to be the next one. That would go to utility commission on their May meeting and then come to council the first meeting in June. So the engineering task orders and work that Rooker Milky's doing for streets and road construction, LRIP grants, those kind of things would go to utility commission. Park improvement projects, efforts of beautification downtown, whether that's murals or whatever is proposed, banners, those sort of things would still work their way through public spaces before coming to the council.
So should that 2H, I'm not sure why it's H.
Well, if you look at if you look at the old ordinance, it's just H is an addition to what is in, so it's
Gotcha.
10258G, and then H is another, it's an addition, so.
Okay. So looking at 2H, where it says all matters, should it read all matters not otherwise assigned to a different committee or something along those lines?
I think that'd be a good edit. just to further clarify.
All right, any other discussion on this? Good moving it forward? All right. Next, and I gotta take a drink quick before I read this long one here. All right, we're gonna look to convene to close session per 19-851C to consider employment, promotion, compensation, or performance evaluation data of any public employee over which the governmental body has jurisdiction or exercises responsibility, specifically merit pay recommendations for the positions of admin and billing clerk, maintenance worker 2, deputy treasurer, police department administrative manager, communications and economic development coordinator, maintenance worker 1, recreation director, city clerk, director of community and economic development, finance director, police lieutenant, police chief, and city administrator.
Motion to close session.
Second.
Yeah, first by Alder Rostad and a second by Alder Lawson. Any discussion? All right, roll call.
Finkler.
Aye.
Rostad.
Aye.
Lawson.
Aye.
Relke.
Aye.
Reed.
Aye.
Hammer.
Aye.
Ayes have it, 6-0.
All right, and we will be reconvening to open session.
What part do you want me to leave for?
All right, we are good and we are back in open session and I will look for a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
We had a first by Alder Rolke, a second by Alder Rostad. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? We are adjourned.
Before we go into the next meeting, we're going to take just a quick break. Sorry for those of you who've been waiting. Call, please.
Finkler.
Here.
Hammer.
Here.
Lawson.
Here.
Reed.
Here.
Relke.
Here.
Rostad.
Here.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Acknowledge this meeting was posted and noticed according to law.
Okay, thank you. I would look for a motion to approve tonight's agenda.
I'll move to approve the agenda.
Second.
Okay, motion by Alder Roki, second by Alder Finkler. Any discussion on the agenda? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Agenda approved. Anybody signed up for public comment? All right, Katie, if you didn't recognize you with the hair. Just state your name and your address, please.
Katie Nichols, 649 West School Street. Is that okay? Yep. Can you hear me? Okay. I just wanted to let you know that I'm here for any questions regarding the application for the 2026 tourism grant by the Columbus Chamber Choir. So, no comments other than that, just that I'm here for you if you have questions. Thank you.
Okay. Then we will move on to item number 1, which is you have for committee minutes for file, the CAEMS of September 10th of 2025, Library of March 17th of 2026, and Recreation of March 9th of 2026. Then you have next item being the consent agenda, council, common council minutes from April 8th of 2026, Committee of the Whole and Common Council meeting and council workshop minutes from April 21st of 26, and Common Council meeting minutes of April 28th of 2026. And then there are the mayoral appointments of council members to committees and commissions. I did note a correction for Susan, that page 13 of the packet of the election of the of the council president, the word 3 was written and then 5 in parentheses, and it should be 5-5. So,
Motion to approve the consent agenda with removal of number 3, move to new business for discussion.
Second.
okay, motion by Alder Rosted and a second by Alder Reed. So could you repeat your motion just for the?
Was a motion to approve the consent agenda with removal of number 3 to be discussed in new business.
Okay. So any discussion on the motion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. Well, then we will go on to number 3 under, oh, you said in new business, okay. Then we'll do ordinances, consider and take action on ordinance 814-26, an ordinance to repeal and recreate section of 2-31 of the City Code of Ordinances concerning composition of the city council. Would look for a motion to suspend the rules.
Move to suspend the rules?
I'll second.
Okay, motion by Alder Finkler, second by Alder Roki to suspend the rules. Any discussion on that? Hearing none. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, next would be to waive the readings.
I'll move to waive the readings.
Second.
Okay, motion by Alder Finkler, second by Alder Roki to waive the readings. Any discussion on that? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, then next would be to adopt ordinance number 814-26.
Motion to adopt 814-26 with the changes from cow to carry over.
Do we want to call out what those changes are, or do we have to?
I think as long as Susan has them recorded, I think, and I know she does, we're good.
Right.
I'll second.
Okay, motion by Alder Rosted, second by Alder Lawson. Any further discussion on this? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, thank you. Then next would be to consider and take action on ordinance number 815-26, an ordinance to amend section 2-41B and to create section 102-58H of the City of Columbus Code of Ordinances. I would look for a motion to suspend the rules.
So moved?
Second.
Okay, motion by Alder Finkler, second by Alder Rosted. Any discussion on that? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The next would be to waive the readings.
Move to
moved.
waive the readings?
Second.
Motion by Alder Finkler, second by Alder Rosted. Any discussion on this? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
And then next would be to adopt ordinance number 815-26.
I'll move to approve ordinance number 815-26.
Second.
Okay, motion by Alder Wilkie, second by Alder Rosted. Any discussion on this? Alder Lawson?
Yeah, we had one minor change from cow. So I don't know if you want to amend your motion or,
Oh, was that,
it was in that 2H.
yeah, C and D?
Yeah, to just basically say not otherwise assigned.
I'll,
Oh, that was the first one, yes, it was.
the first one.
Yeah.
You wanted to change some wording about matters in H.
Right, it was any matters that aren't being handled by another committee or commission, wasn't it, or something like that?
So you had H reading, the Common Council delegates all matters not otherwise assigned to another committee concerning public works to the Utility Commission to be discussed, et cetera.
Correct,
What she said?
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, you gotta amend the motion.
so I will amend my motion to include that verbiage.
Okay. And didn't you?
I'll re-second.
Second. Okay, good. Any further discussion then? Hearing none. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, thank you. And so then, under new business, we will go to item number 3. So, we'll just we'll go right there. So, Alder Rossett?
I've had some constituent feedback, and it raises question with myself with what has transpired lately as well. Appointing yourself to, as a mayor, to the utility commission with your years of service in that building possibly being conflict.
Because of how the ordinance is stated, the mayor and a alder are representatives on the utility commission. I mean, that's what transpired back, I forget how many years ago it was, when the mayor and a council member were added to the commission.
So, in order to change it, we'd have to bring the ordinance to council. All right, thank you.
Okay, oh, I'm sorry, Alder Lesson.
One other note is there is not a committee for Hillside Cemetery Association anymore, but I'm not sure, does the association still exist?
There actually is still a committee until they would disband. That is still a committee in their charter ordinance, whatever, it's not an ordinance, but
They have
their
an
bylaws would.
association, we do not have a committee.
Correct.
Right.
Correct, but their bylaws still require a representative from the city council.
Okay, so Ryan's still attending?
Correct, until they rewrite their bylaws and adopt them.
Okay, thanks.
I'll make a motion to approve item 3 under new business.
Second.
Okay, motion by Alder Rosted, second by Alder Finkler. Any further discussion on that? Then hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, thank you. Okay, I need to get myself back. The next would be item number 6, which is I will now make an announcement that there is a vacancy under District 1 for a council member. The ordinance that we passed, if you have any interest in filling that position, go to the committee application form, the online application form on the city website, and then council will be addressing in the May 19th meeting. So, all right. Then next would be to consider and take action on naming to the Public Works and Utility Departments as what was discussed.
A move to approve the naming to be Public Works and Utilities Department.
Second.
Okay, motion by Alder Finkler, second by Alder Rosted. Any further discussion on this item? Alder Lawson.
Yeah, so at one point I thought it was Department of Public Works and Utilities. Is that different than Public Works and Utilities Department?
As a question
Oh.
for Matt.
Yeah,
I've
yeah,
always-
your recommendation was Department of Public Works and Utilities. It's just the way that it's stated here. So
Okay,
actually,
that's a mistake by me because I would much rather have it be Public Works and Utilities Department. That's how our other departments are, is the departments after instead of before
Okay.
the name.
Okay.
So
So the motion's good. Okay.
all right. So just
Sorry about
clarification. Okay, no, that's good. Any other discussion on that? Okay, hearing none, then all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, then next would be to consider and take action on the Recreation Department Support Fund Policy, which was handled by the Rec Committee at April 20th.
I'll make a motion to approve the support fund policy in front of us.
Second?
Motion by Alder Rostead, second by Alder Finkler. Is there any further discussion on this? Ryan?
I thought we wanted to put in there that this would roll over, but I don't see that.
Essentially, because the recreation funding in the budget is now all special revenue, anything that's coded in recreation will roll over.
Perfect.
By virtue of that.
Hey, Kendra's in the back. I'm just looking for acknowledgement of. Because the recreation fund is now, because recreation budget is now a special revenue fund, anything deposited in recreation for a scholarship fund would roll over, a support fund would roll over from year to year. Correct. Thank you.
All right. So any further discussion on that? And hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. Then next would be to consider and take action on the recommendation to reduce the pavilion deposit for nonprofit organizations.
I'll move to approve the recommendation to reduce pavilion deposit for nonprofit organizations.
Second?
Okay, motion by Alder Finkler, second by Alder Rostead. Any further discussion on this? Alder Lawson.
Yeah, so I guess my question is more, this could be impacted by the discussion that I want to have. I'm not sure why there's such a big difference in the weekend rental price for a resident versus a nonprofit resident. Does anyone know why it's, 1,000 versus 2,000?
Ryan, were you at the?
Oh, I was
commission?
there, yeah.
And my question, the question I'm going to have is going to be different is there anything that is time sensitive related to this that this couldn't be held over for 2 more weeks and allow Amy Jo to be able to answer that question or any other questions about it?
That question, I think there's nothing pressing, what Mike's asking. I think there might be some pressing with the change of nonprofit resident and a nonprofit non-resident. There was quite a bit of pushback to Amy Jo that prompted discussion in the committee to lower it from nonprofit, the nonprofit aspect. And that's what the committee decided was feasible. I'm sorry I can't explain the $1,000 versus $2,500 for a nonprofit. I think it's got to do with their status of a 501c3, if I remember correctly. But I don't know. Don't take it for granted. I'd have to go back and read the minutes. So I think my recommendation to approve as is, and then we can
Get some further clarification on
Mike's
Lawson's
question,
and get back
if
to
he's
you.
okay with it.
I mean, I'm going to vote against it, but everyone else can vote how they want to vote.
Right. Any further discussion on this? Okay, then all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Nay.
Okay. All right, then next would be to consider and take action to approve sending an application for local historic designation of Fireman's Park to the Historic Landmarks and Preservation Commission for review.
Right, so HLPC has identified Fireman's Park Complex as a potential site for local historic designation. It has 3 contributing structures: the pavilion, rest haven, and then the wall in front of the pavilion. All of those are listed on the state and national register of historic places, collectively as the Fireman's Park Complex. the purpose of bringing it to here is that as the owner of the Fireman's Park complex, HLPC is looking to see if council would give its blessing to send the application back to HLPC to begin the official review process for local designation.
It's a similar designation, which was done with the City Hall.
Motion to approve.
Reed seconds.
Okay, motion by Alder Rosted, second by Alder Reed. Any further discussion? Alder Lawson.
I think I'm against the recommendation to apply. I think the entire park as a whole does not make sense to me.
Alder Finkler.
I'm just curious what the benefit to this is.
Well, right now, the Fireman's Complex is on the National Register. So if federal funds were used in that perspective, federal standards would apply. With this, it's also a state on the state register. So anytime currently, even if we're doing repairs to the pavilion or Rest Haven, we need to go to the state to have it reviewed. What local designation would show, it would give a third layer of protection to ensure that those contributing features are maintained in its proper historic form.
Mike, can you clarify the national and state designation? Is that for the entire park or certain elements within the park?
There's, as David mentioned, there's 3 contributing features. And maybe David can go in a little bit. I think it was a little, I think when we reviewed the previous applications, it wasn't entirely clear where the bounds were, or at least I don't remember. But it's my understanding that adding the Fireman's Complex as a designation, what would fall under review would be the contributing buildings, would be the wall, the pavilion, and Rest Haven.
Okay, who is up? Alder Brokey, why don't you?
I guess I'm just confused or would like some clarification on how we came to that grouping of designation. I fail to see how the wall is more valuable than, like, say, the scout cabin. I'm not necessarily against it, but I don't really understand that specific grouping and why we wouldn't be including the scout cabin.
The previous applications that were approved by the state and the state and national register identified, based on the historic analysis and the assessment, that analysis that was done back in I think the 90s, that's what was submitted and approved by the state and on the federal register. So the local, the proposal, or what's being, HLPC is wanting to go forward with, is to align with the state and national register, but do that on a local level.
Thank you.
And the scout cabin was moved on the site, and, there's some other factors involved in that as well.
Alder Reed?
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I guess I just kind of had the same question as if we're having beyond and above what the state and national are covering. I'm not against approval at all. I don't believe that approving at the local level would make any difference on if a structure became so dilapidated it need to be torn down at some point. I don't think it blocks from that. I think it just gives more protection in the design, as far as I can tell. That's a question.
Yeah, well, there's 3 layers. As owner, you get to provide direction if there's any modifications to a building, additions or anything like that. As owners, you approve designs that get submitted to the state. And HLPC has input on that as well, but the state has to approve those plans before a project can go forward. And designating it would allow HLPC to have additional or further review of that. So it's a 3rd layer of protection for the park.
Alder Russ.
So it's basically an extra layer of insurance, but everything's got to be approved by the state or the federal anyway, correct?
Yeah, it allows HLPC more review, in addition to yours and what the state does already.
Alder Russ.
Part of my concern is that with the local designation and depending upon the clarification on what really is included or not, could have an impact on our plans to further enhance the park.
So, I mean, my take on this is that the structures that have been identified are the pavilion, the rest haven, and the wall. Being that those are identified, those would not be affected by whatever our park plan is anyways.
The only argument I would have there is there were a lot of public comment during the master planning session about improving vision triangles and safety along the Park Avenue corridor. And I can't tell you if there are options to do that without impacting any of the walls. That, I'm not saying, yes, there has to be modifications to the wall, but I'm not saying that some of those solutions might not require modifications to the wall. I've been involved in another community where there was a historic landmark that there was a significant safety issue, and we worked through the state process to rebuild a portion of that. It was an archway, a very, very historic, very great archway that was relocated to address a safety concern where an individual unfortunately had lost their life in a traffic accident as a pedestrian. And we've not had anything to that significance here in this corridor. I also am aware that there are solutions that we're looking at that would not involve having to modify the wall. But I can't 100% answer that question one way or another at this point.
But I mean, in the grand scope of what, when we had those architecture here, when we're looking at things, that really wouldn't affect any of the planning of any of that. For the pavilion's going to stay, obviously, the wall.
The wall was the only
Right.
concern as it relates to current exit. Is the concern that the public has raised. I would argue that our one solution that would probably be our best long-term solution would be to improve and replace the bridge in the park and exit traffic onto Farnham and not, out Poet and onto Farnham, as opposed, and maybe close off that that exit to vehicle traffic, and maybe it's just a pedestrian entrance and exit. That'd be ideal, but it's also going to be a very expensive, likely expensive solution in dealing with the bridge. But we also know that the bridge is a limiter of stormwater management in the park. So, yeah, I'll stop.
All right. Alder Reed.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I'm still feeling pretty comfortable with approval. I don't think the request has any effect on paths or roads or whether or not a beer garden could possibly be added in the future. I think it's just very limited scope on a couple of building structures.
Alder Rossted,
Is
anything further?
is it revocable? Or once it's in, it's in?
It is revocable under the same process, like the owner, as the owner, if it got nominated and ultimately approved as local historic designated, you could have a process, you would be part of a process to rescind the nomination.
But
the
you have to
designation.
keep in mind that HLPC has the final decision on this, not the council regarding the approval or rescinding of this by our current ordinance.
So if what Matt addressed, residents' concerns or citizen input, was the in and out of the park, we could hinder ourselves if we wanted to change that, if we don't have the power to revoke it as a council. If we approve it tonight, we basically give the power away from council, is what I'm understanding. Well-
If you approve this tonight, you're telling HLPC, you're giving them the blessing to go forward with the process, to initiate the process. And if at the end of that process, HLPC approves it, then it would be a local designated complex at that time.
Which they have this, the HLPC would have the say.
There's an appeals process as well on that, but prior to any kind of appeals process, HLPC would have the final. It's not a recommendation to council at that point. It's a final decision if they approve it at the end of that process.
I guess, is this time sensitive?
It becomes time sensitive once the application's officially submitted for review for local designation.
So once the application goes to HLPC for a, initial, I forget what they call it, initial consideration, there's like steps they have to complete this by 45 days, and so once that first meeting starts, then there's a timeline that has to be met.
Yeah, because you have notifications for preliminary review, there's public hearing and decision, and those each follow their own timelines.
So I think my suggestion would be that we postpone this, right? Till we get further information to better understand it, to understand if the reconfigure of the entrance or exit, however you want to call it, is going to be affected. That way we don't put ourselves in a predicament.
Please understand that even if it's not locally designated, if you want to do something with the wall, you still need to get state approval.
Understand, yep, but we still have control as council at this point. If it gets approved.
I don't
And-
think so. I think this is just whether or not we're on board with this. Like, it can be applied for even if we say no, right?
Correct.
Correct.
Yeah, it doesn't matter what we say. I think it's just getting a temperature check on the current council and where they're sitting on this. That's my understanding.
Yeah, well, yeah, come up to the podium. Oh. There's a button on there that has like three lines. Yeah, that's a face with three lines by it.
Okay.
There, okay.
I don't think HLPC has really control over anything in reality. In regards to the permissions and the park modifications that Matt talked about, I guess one thing I would like to know, if you guys think about what the timeline is for that park modification and when you think that's going to happen. And like Mike said, you would still need approval from the state of Wisconsin because it has the buildings themselves, including the park, because it's the entire park that's on the National Register. And we checked, it's not just the buildings, it's the entire property. So any of those approvals would still need to be taken to the state of Wisconsin for modification to say, we want to do this, is this okay? So, and the local designation is basically, it's, what happened years ago was they had started the process of locally designating properties and places and things in Columbus, and the ball got dropped, and the process was not completed. So we have picked that ball back up, and we're trying to get the properties in the important places in the city of Columbus locally designated. So it technically already is on 2 registers. We're just trying to be consistent with other communities that have historical significance and also have a local designation for the park. So if Ruth was here, she would probably be able to give you the history of all of that, but she's not able to come tonight. But I don't believe, I don't think this is any different than if a homeowner wanted to have their house locally designated, and there's several houses in Columbus that already are on the 2 other registers, and if we did a local designation, HLPC does not have control over what color they paint their house. If they paint their house that isn't considered a period correct color, or it goes against anything that would technically be considered historical, they're not eligible for tax credits. So basically, and I'm not sure if 501c3s, which is the city of Columbus, if that's what the park is, would be eligible for tax credits. But as far as like properties, that would just prohibit them from being able to apply for some of those incentives for maintaining a historic property. So and I guess if you guys do have questions before we move forward on this, and David's right, once we get to a certain point of timeline, we are under a timeline obligation to keep the process moving. But if you have specific questions, if you can get those to David, so we can answer them or get answers for them, that would be really helpful. I guess when I read through the application, one of my own personal concerns was there's a metal roof on that pavilion or on that rest haven. So I don't know if that's going to disqualify the park. And I don't know when it was designated, if it was prior to the metal roof or after the metal roof, but that could be a bump and maybe disqualified. I don't know. And we've seen pictures of the pavilion and the entry of the park. And the wall is designated, however, in previous pictures that David had pulled forward when we were doing this application, the wall wasn't in the pictures. So I don't know how old it is. I don't know when it was built. I don't know. It has been preserved by HLPC. They have preserved that wall and has spent money on that. But I don't know. We haven't been able to determine when that wall was actually built. It doesn't mean we shouldn't save it, because it's been there for many years, at least 65. But so I just wanted to say that. I think sometimes there's a misconception that the preservation commissions in communities takes away control from homeowners and property owners, and that, I think, is a myth. So
Okay.
that's all I wanted to say.
Thank you, Libby. So is there any further discussion on this? We do have a motion and a second. If you wish to have it more information, or if you have questions that you want to submit to David, and then that can be brought to the CHLPC meeting. Again, we have a motion and a second on the floor.
What were the motion
So,
and second?
to approve. I mean, I personally, in my own opinion, see no issue with approving this, so, but. So I'll call for, we have a motion and a second on the floor. All those in favor of granting the HLPC to move forward with the application process.
Aye.
Opposed?
Nay.
Okay. So, are you, I guess the question, are you looking for more information or do you have questions? And if you do have those questions, please submit them via email to David, so.
Well, since that motion didn't go through, don't we make another motion to postpone this to a future meeting for more information?
Well, I
Okay.
mean, we can always, I don't know if we need a motion for that. We can just get it back on the agenda once, but I would say, you know, if you have questions, please get them submitted as soon as possible to David so that answers can be
I think it would-
formulated, so.
Yeah, I think it would just be helpful to just have like, just a little bit more of an overview on what actually looking for, what the benefits are, what this means. I think just more information in general is what, like, I don't know, I think I'm hearing, but others can speak up too.
Right.
Yeah, I would echo what Alder Finkler said, and then I would just ask if David or Mike did take down what we already discussed for questions that were brought up.
Yeah, I think specifically, I mean, I asked for what the benefits are, and I don't know that that was answered. I don't know if there is any benefits. Like, I feel like I just don't know the process at all. So I think more information on that in general would be good. Also, I would like to, sorry, I keep turning my light on and keep talking, but nobody else's light is on. The other thing that I would like to know is, like, if it's federally and state designated, what does local do? You know, what's that gap analysis between federal and state and local? Like, does it add like another, does it verify something that state and federal doesn't do? Like, I think that's what I would be interested in knowing also. I guess my big thing is like, are we adding red tape just to add red tape, or is what is actually like part of it?
Right. Okay. Yeah, but if you have anything further, please submit to David. Then we will then move on to consider and take action on the application for the 2026 tourism grant to the Columbus Chamber Choir. So 3 of the members on tourism are members of the Chamber Choir. So obviously they can't vote to approve a grant. So that's why it's being brought to this body. So there's been various, I forget how many, was there like 8 grants or whatever that that organizations had submitted applications for.
Yep.
But Chamber Choir had to come to this body. So it would be looking for a motion to approve the tourism grant.
I move to approve the tourism grant in the amount of $2,008.58.
Reed seconds.
Okay, motion by Alder Lawson, second by Alder Reed. Discussion, Ryan?
Is this going to be a reoccurring issue with the new appointments, that if they want to apply again, it's going to have to come back? And if it is there a way we can alleviate that it comes here automatically without their request?
Who knows? I mean, each year is different.
But the appointments are good for how many years to the tourism committee?
Annual.
Annual. Okay, yeah, it's that special one with
Yeah.
state statute.
It's
Okay.
yeah, it's an annual appointment, so. Okay, any other discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Shouldn't it be a roll call vote with money?
Oh, okay, roll call.
Rostad,
Aye.
Lawson,
Aye.
Finkler,
Aye.
Reed,
Aye.
Relke.
Abstain.
And then going forward, we'll have to bring this back for their final report.
Yeah. So that would be what, in January, right? So, okay, very good, thank you. Okay, next would be to consider and take action concerning the merit pay recommendations that were covered in the closed session.
Move to approve recommendations from closed session.
I'll second.
Okay, motion by Alder Finkler, second by Alder Lawson. Any further discussion on this item? Hearing none, roll call, please.
Reed,
Aye.
Lawson,
Aye.
Relke,
Aye.
Finkler,
Aye.
Rostad.
Aye.
Ayes have it.
Okay. Then next would be to consider and take action on Resolution 11-26, authorizing the mayor and city clerk to execute any documents related to the sale of parcel 1114-1 or .1 located on Tower Drive.
Motion to approve resolution 11-26.
Second.
Okay, motion by Alder Rosted, second by Alder Lawson. Any further discussion on this item? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, next would be to consider and take action on claims in the amount of $429,015.03.
Move to pay the claims.
I'll second.
Okay, motion by Alder Finkler, second by Alder Roki. Any discussion on the claims? Hearing none, roll call, please.
Finkler,
Aye.
Reed,
Aye.
Rostad,
Aye.
Relke,
Aye.
Lawson.
Aye.
Ayes have it. 5-0.
Okay, report of city administrator.
Just two quick things. On May 19th, we will be holding a joint Plan Commission City Council meeting. Mike has that tentatively scheduled for 5:15 PM that evening, so an early start, but the next step in our zoning rewrite process. And then the regular meetings would then follow that meeting at their normal times. My other quick announcement is we have our final Aldermanic District Walk this Thursday night. That's District 2. We'll be starting here at City Hall at 5 PM. Those have averaged about a half hour to 40 minutes, so encourage anyone interested to join us. We'll leave from City Hall at 5.
Okay, thank you. Yes, you may.
So I just wanted to thank you guys again for approving me to attend the International Institute of Municipal Clerks Association Conference, which is coming up the week of May 18th. I will be gone all week out to Reno, Nevada, and hope to bring back lots of information for everyone, so.
Thought she was going to say money.
No, no, I don't have too much luck in that department, so we won't be doing that. But I just really appreciate your support, and thank you for the opportunity.
All right, wonderful. And just simple for me, I would like to wish all the mothers a happy Mother's Day for mothers, grandmothers, and godmothers. So with that, I would look for a motion to adjourn.
Move to adjourn.
Second.
Motion by Finkler, second by Rolke to adjourn. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? We stand adjourned.